All right, now for the second part of this. So you can see I've got all my images here, and you can notice the difference between the different times of day. I went back and I fixed that view that I had that was incorrect, just to make sure that I had the right data for that. So everything's in here. Got the side view, and I've got the top view. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking to see like where the angles are. We're looking to see how much light there is, and we're trying to compare things. We're trying to compare like with like. Okay. If the angles are different, if the times are different, right, it's not like an analysis. And we're definitely wanting to, show where the cuts are in the sun system. In this case, the vertical sun system. If it was, horizontal system, then we might take like a front section, or this side section would actually show a lot more would show a lot more evidence, right? And of course, our building's angled, so we're also getting a bit different light distribution. Okay, so from there, we're going to go ahead and fire up Photoshop, and then we're going to start laying these things out. You could also do these with InDesign or like with Illustrator, and that's definitely a possibility. So yeah, we're just gonna lay these out and just make kind of a simple grid, and that'll be it for the presentation. Yeah, so actually, I think I'm gonna go ahead and use Illustrator because I want to use the fonts, and I just like working in Illustrator a little bit better than Photoshop for this kind of thing. I also think thinking about we could do this in InDesign, but it's just a little bit more overhead for only making 3 layouts. I think it's a little bit overkill. But there's so many different ways to do this. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this in Illustrator. So I'm gonna make a file, and let's see here. I want the file to basically be 8.5 by 11, and it's not in here. Let's see here. Let's go to here. Units gonna be inches, and let's see here. More settings. Trying to find letter size. Here we go. Yeah, we'll go to inches. Yeah, 8.5 by 11 vertical. So that's what I asked for this assignment. Um, and just give it a quarter inch border on the sides, and this is all fine. So we're gonna head and make this. These are going to be viewed, online. And so, the like color palette and stuff like that's not that big of a deal. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make some layers for things, because I want to get all my images organized, and then I want to make a layer for the grid. Most important thing, get these laid out, and I want to have a grid for the like text, um, and that's all. That's going to be on top, and then I'll do summer, winter, equinox, just to get a space for those. Okay, and then just go ahead and save a copy of the file. Throw this on my desktop here. Let's see here. So I'll call it my sun study. Good enough. Okay. Okay. So a way that I think this can work, to make this pretty clean. Different ways you can do this, but I've got um I've got snaps. I've got smart guides turned on. I've got like guides turned on. You can go ahead and turn the rulers on, and it gives you like like kind of a reference. You want to lay these out in kind of a 3 by 3 grid. And so one thing right away you can do, I'm just holding shift down here, is just to say, okay, so what does a square look like? If I'm just going to break this thing down as a something that's equal, right? What does that look like? And so that's just a strategy that I use. And then you can say, okay, so if I look at the dimensions of this, it's 8.5 inches high, and 8.5 inches wide. And I'm going to go ahead and actually cut that down to 8 from here. And that gives me, so I just went over to if you don't have the transform open under properties, you can just open up the properties window here. And then it gives me like a nice just kind of box, for these things. And so just going to see what that looks like. And then I'm going to go ahead and just start putting some guides in from there. So I'm going to go to grid and just turn all these off. Double click on, or just click on this. Yeah, now I'm on that layer. Oop, lost my thing here. Let's go ahead and put it on this layer. There we go. Wasn't on that layer. Okay, and then I'm gonna just do like a click and drag to put some grid lines up here. Okay. Okay. And just to get this kind of going, I'm going to go ahead and start just putting some images in on the summer layer. There's different ways to do this. Um, so, oh wait, it shouldn't be summer. It should be top. Haha. Should be top. Uh, let's say front, top, and side, or side, top. Doesn't really matter, but sorry, brain fuck here. We just I think you want to look at these not by the time of the year, but I think you want to look at these by the view. Okay, so so we'll go through and I'll do front first. I think it's probably the best way to do this. Um, let's see here. So front. So one thing you can do, I think this will work, is to just do like a shift click, select all those, and drag them onto the canvas here. Let's see if yep. Okay, so all these are linked files, and they're all underneath my my thing here. Okay, so we'll go ahead, and I'm gonna select all of them, and let's see if it'll let me. Yeah, I'm gonna select all of them at the same time. And now if it's 8 inches across, we can kind of divide it by thirds, and we could say that each one is probably um, let's just try 2 inches wide for now. So I'm gonna lock these and say 2 inches. Let's see what that looks like here. I'm gonna turn this back on again. Um, yeah, I don't want to go to rectangle. Let's make that transparent. There we go. Okay. Let's just lay some of these out here. Oh, and I lost my I forgot which one's which here, so that's not good. So I should probably should have done these in order. Um, let's go ahead and just delete those then. 2 inches though. Let's say that. So let's do 3 p.m., 9 a.m., 12 p.m. equinox. Okay. So um, I try to do these things at the same time, but let's just kind of snap this here. Okay, and just for now. Okay, and I'm just snapping them to the top of this um, rectangle for now, and then we'll kind of edit it from there. I'm just showing you my process, like as I work with it. So let's see, 3 p.m. Actually, it needs to go here, and this goes here. Okay. Now, what you can do with these, once you've got things that are, I'm gonna go ahead and move this all the way to the side. You can actually, you can distribute these evenly. So you do shift and and you kind of click each one, and then you can do distribute horizontally by center, and that'll actually line them up with each other. And that's not too bad. So looking at these right now, I could probably get away with making them a little bit bigger. So I'm probably just gonna do maybe I don't think let's try 2.5. I don't know. I want to make these as big as I can. And these are linked, which means that if I change the file, that the file gets updated. And that's really useful just in case I make a mistake like I did before. Okay, so now I'm going to line these up again. And that actually doesn't seem too bad. So just clicking each one again. And there we go. So now I've got that kind of laid out. And then I'm going to go ahead and make some text underneath them. And I can say um, 9 a.m. Let's call it 9 a.m. Let's see. I don't want to do Helvetica. Helvetica light. Not condensed though. Just Helvetica bold. Nah. I'm gonna do Helvetica Roman. It's fine. Let's go ahead and zoom in. Make sure I got this right. Okay, 9 a.m. Let's see here. I don't know if I want that to be like this. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. And you can line these up with each other kind of the same way. You just kind of horizontally align them. Um, you don't have to do Helvetica if you don't want to. You can do something else. Okay, so I just did a shift I hold Shift and Alt to make a copy of it in line. Okay, and so just hold Alt and then Shift. It gets over here, and we'll call this one 3 p.m. Okay, 12 p.m. All right, so now we got these things, and again, I'm just going to click on this, align it. These are pretty close. Good enough. Okay. Um, and so there's these, and I'm gonna call these equinox. Okay, and you could let's see here. I think I'm gonna do this. Make these a little bit bigger, just a little bit bigger. I'd bold it. Idea is just to make these legible. Check your spelling. Okay. So now that I've got that kind of put together, so I've got the things. I'm gonna go ahead and put the text on the text layer. And I got these files here. Make sure the text is turned on. That's just for editing purposes. Um, can go ahead and now that I've got these, I can actually put a grid with them, just so that it's easy to align these things with each other later, and that's going to be helpful. And then I'll go ahead and put those. I'm just shift clicking and then moving these up here and locking. I'm going to lock these. Okay, so take this, copy it, do a shift. Hold Alt and then do Shift and move it down. And you can kind of eyeball these to get the spacing, um, if you'd like to. Oops, just make sure that yeah. Let's kind of zoom out and see what we've got. Yeah, and again, what you're getting is roughly a square on this 8.5 by 11. If you wanted to kind of bump this down a little bit, you could probably do an inch margin on the top. I'm just kind of doing it by sight. I'm not really. I could probably do this a little bit cleaner, but there we go. That's not too bad. The other thing you could do if you wanted to, yeah, I just do this. So I'm making these into groups. Would be to group all these together and then select these three things and then do a vertical align or do like vertical distribute center. Oh, and that actually works already. That's not too bad. I'll just show you what that means. So if I do the spacing again, it's going to distribute them. But my apparently my eyeballing was pretty good. Then I can go ahead and ungroup these again and just go ahead and get that text back here. Yeah, on the text layer. Okay. And then these pictures, I'll just go ahead and make a quick grid here. That's it. Okay. So then we've got and we can delete the linked files now. And then we're just going to change the font here. So to summer solstice, winter solstice. And since equinox kind of falls between them, I might actually switch this up a little bit. So because you kind of want to compare them across the time. So I'll just do that, and then we'll go ahead and drop these. Kind of design as you go here. Okay. And again, I know this makes the videos like slow and long, but I am just kind of showing you my process here as I kind of think through this, right? As a way to kind of show things as clearly as I can. Okay. May find out later that I want the spacing a little bit different, but that's easy to change. Okay, so I got those. I got these images in equinox, solstice, winter solstice. Good. Okay, so then that's all the text. I'll put the guides back here. What we're trying to do is make this as as error free as possible and as clean as possible. So these are the front images here, and they're linked. Okay, and then the text is here, and that's pretty good. So we're gonna lock these up. Okay, and then we're gonna go back to this other piece here. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay. So front view, and let's see. Summer solstice, 3 p.m. Summer solstice, 9 a.m. And yep. Yeah. Easy peasy. Okay. So let's see here. We get the equinox, summer solstice, 3 p.m. Yeah. Okay. So we did 2.5. Oop. And that's not what I want to do. Okay. Just making sure that I got this. Huh. Strange. I guess you gotta do a copy paste. You can't just drag them in. It's my mistake. Okay, paste. There we go. Okay, copy, paste. Oh, gotta paste it in the layer that's turned on. There we go. Okay, so you want to copy paste it. I guess if you drag it, it opens up into a file. Okay, so that's 3 p.m. But now this part's easy because we got the grid and everything. So we'll just go back and do this. Um, let's see here. 3 p.m., 9 a.m. Okay. Okay. Okay, and then we're gonna go and get the 12 p.m. Okay, I'm just making sure that that is all aligned. Good. Okay, and then the last one is going to be the 9 a.m. front, winter solstice. Excellent. And then we're going to do the 12 p.m. front, winter solstice. Okay, and then 3 p.m. front, winter solstice. Good. And just keeping all this stuff organized and having good file names and layers and stuff is just the key to not making any mistakes. Yeah, that's not bad. So that's what we would do for the submission for each one of these pages, and you could probably do some kind of label here. I'd say like front facade, um, like sun study during the corner. Depends on the layout that you have. You could do a title bar at the top or something if you wanted to. Just it's totally up to you. So it's 8.5 by 11. So if I did 10.5 for that, just adjusting the guide at the bottom there. Okay, then I can align this with it. It just gives me a clean thing. And that's not bad. You don't want to make it too bad. So I do think on the text, I'm gonna go lock this. I kind of want to bump these up a little bit. I want some white space, and I want these closer to the images here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and move all these up a little bit. I like that better. So that's fine. So that I think just reads pretty clearly, and it allows you to kind of like compare apples to apples. That's the whole idea. Okay. So there's that, and then of course all you do to do the next one is you can just turn off that layer. Okay. And actually I'll go ahead and put this on the text layer too, and put this on the guide layer or grid layer. There we go. Now that's all in there. Good. So you can turn this off, and then you can do the same thing where you like copy paste the things in there. Actually, what I did there was probably not necessary. Let's put it on the front, and then what we can do is we can do a copy and we'll paste it into each one of these things. So just do paste in place, put on the side layer, and we'll call this side, we'll call it cross section. Okay, and then we'll do the same thing. So we'll do a copy, go to top view, and then paste in place again, and we'll call this plan. And we'll move this over here. Text doesn't really snap super well. Okay, then we're ready to go. So just I would leave those. Those don't. If you put them on the text layer, you have to turn them off and on. And I would just assume that they stay with the view. Okay. So now you got your text, and you put those images in, and then save each file, and then you got your sun study. So in this case, it's 27 images. But it's pretty straightforward, and you could keep this template, if you wanted to use it, for something else later. It works fairly well. You can adjust the font and things like that if you want to, but it looks pretty good. Um, and then you can go ahead and yeah, just basically put the images in. They're like 2.5 inch, and that's good enough. They're they're not big, necessarily. And of course, if your building wasn't a cube, if it wasn't a square, you'd have a different layout. They're not going to be necessarily even. You might have to go to a horizontal layout. Of course, you guys know about this stuff, but yeah, I think that's about right. So that gives you a sense of when the sun, definitely when the sun is lower, you can see that there's actually quite a bit more light, and you can see where that window, where that skylight's moving in the space. Um, and in the summer, we've, because of the angle of the building and stuff, we've really screened that back wall, and that's what we want. We really want daylight to be on that back wall, catching that thermal mass in the winter. And some of that has to do with the overhang and has to do with the angle of the building. That's exactly what you're trying to design. You want to keep light off of that wall, off of that thermal mass, right, in the summer. And once again, that's what we're showing. So that, in that sense, just for this view, right, is a pretty effective design, and that fits our design strategy. So that then this is definitely illustrating what we wanted to. So that's great. Okay. All right, so that just covers that method, and again, like, just trying to explain my process, and hopefully, if you follow this kind of process that I'm showing you, to kind of plan ahead and keep organized, it's going to save you time and make this stuff really clear. It's a really good way to like communicate it. This kind of bothers me here, this little thing from Climate Studio, at least in this view, but I think it's helpful in the top view. So if you wanted to, like, you could go through certainly and edit those images in Photoshop and then relink them, as long as you don't change the file size, or I mean, as long as you don't change the size of the image, right? Then those, when you relink those in Illustrator, that'll just like disappear. That's why it's really good to do linked files. Just make sure that, like, when you're saving the file and you're looking at it later, that you keep the linked files in the same location, or at least the same organization, so you don't lose it. Otherwise, next time you open up the Illustrator file, you're going to get like low res, like thumbnails, because it can't find the images. You're going to have to fix that. Okay. But yeah, so this went pretty well, and it looks pretty clear. And if you follow this, I think that's a really good submission for the lab. All right. You guys take care, and I will talk to you later. Bye.